Today, we're going to talk about The World's End. The World's End is a film about how humans are simple, childish, and self-centered. It features a petulant, pathetic, and self-centered individual named Gary, who tries to get his successful and mature friends to go on an irresponsibly massive bar crawl. By completing the bar crawl, he hopes he'll regain the happiness he had as a youth. Unfortunately, it doesn't go that well, and Gary's friends frequently point out he's living in the past. Then he accidentally discovers an alien robot invasion of Earth by a creature called the Network, and he tries to complete the bar crawl regardless. A few of his friends die, some life lessons are learned, and at the end we find out the Network was just trying to make us better people. It connected us all through social media, gentrified things, and expected obedience of us because it wanted us to grow into perfect beings. But that just isn't what humans are or how they work, and expecting such was the Network's mistake. There are a bunch of explosions, a suitably happy and heavy-handed ending, and humans are free once more. I liked the film, and I agree with its assertion that expecting perfection from humans is incredibly foolish. I've brought it up before, but people ask too much of one another. We don't let ourselves be flawed. Because of ceaseless interconnectivity, we live in a time period where you don't even have to say the wrong thing to be attacked. You just have to accidentally not say enough or accidentally say too much. Giving people more room to make mistakes is a good idea, basically, is what I'm getting at. And now, you're probably wondering what any of this has to do with spoilers. Well, I just spoiled the entirety of The World's End for you, including the big twist about the alien robot invasion. Why didn't I warn you first? Because I wanted to discuss it, and you clicked on my video in my little corner of the internet where I broadcast myself. Coming here and demanding things to fit to your level of comfort would be foolish and unreasonable. After all, no one has the right for their comfort to eclipse someone else's. Of course, this entirely depends on who is engaging and who is receiving. You clicking on my video was your choice. You are willingly engaging in content surrounding the film The World's End, and were warned about that ahead of time, so naturally you might encounter spoilers or you might not. The need to click on the video first is a small but noticeable barrier to the spoilers. However, if someone were to engage with you and spoil a film for you, they're just being kind of mean. Some people do desire the comfort of speaking freely, and that's fine as long as others are engaging with them by choice. But nobody should have to be subject to random, unrestrained nuggets of violent, spoilerific trivia without there being some barrier to entry. That barrier is called courtesy. It is courteous not to spoil things for others without some manner of consideration first. I see many arguments in favor of people who want to spoil things, most of which I naturally find discourteous. One argument in particular, though, bothers me more than most, and it seems to be accepted by many. Even people that attempt to be impartial can't seem to help but indulge. The argument is that, essentially, if something's old, spoilers aren't spoilers anymore. I often hear, insert thing is decades old, if you haven't seen it by now, you aren't going to. This logic is completely untenable for several reasons, which I will attempt to enumerate. Firstly, there's too much art being made for people to consume it all in a timely fashion. There are billions and billions of works of art out there, and in any given year, there might be hundreds of things you'd love to experience. Are you going to get to them all that year? No, you can't. It's just not reasonable. It may take many years, maybe tens of years. Does that mean you deserve to have those things spoiled for you? Of course not. What if you didn't even know something existed? I'm personally discovering new old things every day of my life, and it's a blast. Sometimes I play games from 20 years ago on a whim, or actively seek them out. Or for another example, I just saw 12 Angry Men for the very first time this year. Art should be forever. We don't only consume what's new, and we don't only care about what's new, and if art is forever, so are spoilers. Anyone can and will care about anything at any point until the end of time itself. While it would be ridiculous to ask that you tailor your every mannerism to the whims of those individuals, it's only courteous of you to keep it in mind if you're the one engaging another in conversation. Be reasonable in your expectations of discourse and act accordingly.